Ever wonder why this guy, Kim Payne, this is the Japanese version of At Fillmore East, has a songwriting credit on Midnight Rider, Gregg Allman's Midnight Rider? Here's the story. Vitamin ABB, trust me, I'm a doctor.
It's a pretty poorly kept secret that the Allman Brothers Band revered their roadies. And probably the most notable way we know that, or the most important way we know that, is the back cover of At Fillmore East included their roadies sitting among their gear, including, I'm going to go from the far side, that's Willie Perkins, standing, Mike Callahan, also standing, that's Joe Dan Petty, in front of Mike Callahan. Callahan's got his foot up on a road case. And then Kim Payne holding a beer, and right above me, that's Red Dog. That Cameron Crowe featured him in Almost Famous, one of the greatest rock and roll movies in history. The final person I want to mention is Twigs Linden up top. Twigs was actually in a mental institution for having murdered a Buffalo club owner over non-payment, and the judge had sent him to the mental institution, basically not guilty by reason of insanity. The time on the road with the Allman Brothers Band had driven him crazy. Jim Marshall famous rock photographer, took right across the street from Capricorn Studios in Macon. The studios were not in a very good neighborhood, and the band kept their gear in a warehouse right next to the studio. They were off the road, had to stay in the warehouse to protect the gear. The story was Gregg got the song down. Apparently, Kim Payne, I'm quoting this from Scott Freeman's book, Gregg came down to the warehouse. He was playing and we were doing a bunch of speed, and he kept going on about this Midnight Rider thing. He was having a time with words, and it was actually getting irritating. Apparently, it's Kim Payne who gives Gregg the lyric, "I've gone by the point of caring. Some will bet I'll soon be sharing." As Gregg wrote in his book, he says, Kim Payne came up with "I've gone by the point of caring," which was exactly what I needed. I've gone by the point of caring. Fuck it. And then, some old bet I'll soon be sharing. I've got another buck and I ain't going to let him catch my ass. And then it's just kind of off to the sunset. Gregg gave Kim a piece of his songwriting credit for giving him that line. I don't know that Capricorn honored Phil Walden or his publishing companies honored, I think, him.
I forgot to connect why Gregg ended up there. Gregg had written the song and was hot to capture the song on tapes. He gives Twigs a bass and teaches him the da-na-na-na-na-na, that riff part of the bass line of Midnight Rider. He says, I had a 12-string guitar and a bass and a drum. So J-Mo, somehow he finds J-Mo. And then they go to Capricorn Studios. They're in this warehouse or the storage area. And what ends up happening is Gregg's afraid he's going to forget the song. Gregg convinces Kim Payne to break into the studio that he was supposed to be guarding so that they could record and lay down a demo of Midnight Rider.